On the move. I'll make it happen. Executing. Consider it done.
Hey everyone, so I hope this is going to be kind of a fun tutorial, probably more for new people, but some older mappers might get some good stuff out of it. What I'm basically going to be showing is maybe like a 1 or 2 player map where you have to escort a vehicle across the map, and in the meantime zombies are coming towards you. And there's going to be some simple AI stuff like my other circling AI way back, but in a better way. And just some simple trigger mechanics to hopefully get people started, so it's not too long of a tutorial. I'm going to mostly be using units that are already in the game, so I don't waste time on the data editor duplicating units all day. So let's say I make a new map here, and I want the campaign units, but I also want these melee units as well, so I go to custom as my dependency, add standard, check off both Liberty campaign ones, hit OK. So now I have all 4, and you could add more if you could download it others like Bejeweled or Blizzard Data if you wanted them in the future. And let's say this is 128 by 128. I'm not going to spend too much time on the terrain, but it's going to be more about sort of the mechanics behind it. There's no point in me like doing terrain for half an hour. Okay, so I'm just going to make a new map here on Meinhof. And the first thing we're going to do is sort of drop some points to set up for the vehicle. And I'll have to choose whatever vehicle we're going to use for this. It'll be a fairly simple map, but hopefully useful for people. Okay, so I'm in the bottom left here. I'm going to sort of make a little outcrop where we start. Bear with me for a second here. I'm just going to drop something quick. Okay, so say we start in this little area, and I'm going to hit P here, and I'm just going to drop a point here, drop a point here, drop a point here. So I'm not making good use of the whole map here, but just in yours you would probably do this a little bit nicer. Wow, that yellow line is so hidden. If you want to see the camera bounds, which is this yellow line, and then the map bounds, which is the blue line where no units can walk over, you can hit O, I believe. Yeah, O. And if you want to view the game view, you press V, and you can view how it would look in game with all the particle effects like smoke and stuff, which I don't have any right now. And press V to toggle off. So we got these points. I'm not going to bother renaming them because we'll probably have we'll probably have very few other points, so rather than you watch me rename, it's a waste of time. And then go back to T for terrain, and I was in the points layer just a second ago. And we're basically just going to, for my own purposes of demoing this, I'm just going to make some cliffs around where you're supposed to go. So we got some sort of like layout here, and after this, what I'd like to do is place points for the zombie spawns. So let's put one here and like one here, sort of hide them in areas like that, and one up here, and maybe 2 up here. So I think that starts at 0.8. So 0.8, we'll just call this Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4, Z5. Z6, Z7, okay, sorry for that. And so now we have that sort of basic setup going. And so let's say, and I'm assuming you'd have like a hero or something if you're doing your map. But in my case, I'm just going to place like Tychus or some default campaign hero. Let's see. This guy seems pretty badass. Maybe Nova. Nova will be good to knock out the zombies. And you can press middle mouse down to go back to the game view. If you wheel around with right mouse and then zoom out with the wheel, middle mouse brings you back to game view. So we got Nova for player 1 here. I'm on the units tab by pressing U. And other than that, I'm going to create the rest through triggers. So we don't really have to place anything else. So let's go into triggers now. First things first, let's delete all of the actions in here because this is not a melee game for 2 versus 2 or whatever. And then you're going to replace it with a new action. I press Control W on actions, and we're going to go camera, pan camera. So we're going to pan the camera for player 1 to unit, position of unit instead of trigger unit. I'm going to choose Nova over 0 seconds. That's all we need to change. And then next thing we're going to do is go unit, create unit facing angle. We're going to create one, I don't know, what should we use for the caravan? Let's see, what are those things called? Let's just go with siege tank maybe. Oh, we don't want it attacking though. Well, I'm just going to use a siege tank, which for some reason you have to escort. And let's create this for player 14. So I should mention that in map player properties, player 14 here, change it to computer, and that's all we need to do. And for player 14 at point 1, which is this point here, facing, let's say, 50 degrees. So that's like, this is 0 degrees, this is 45, this is 90, 135, 180, etc. So it starts at 0 here, and then goes around that way. So that's fine. So he's facing kind of northeast, I hope. And so I would create it for player 14, and just I'd assume you'd probably have some sort of other thing to escort, but I don't want this siege tank to be attacking, so I better just remove his weapon quickly so he doesn't. Oh god, there's so many. I'll click this guy, and let's get rid of his attack ability and his weapons. So there we go. Now we can attack, hopefully. And so we created that, and then let's do a fade out. So let's make your screen black initially. This is what I usually do in all my maps now, is I kind of make it black right at the start and kind of fade in with a message. And oh, we should do the alliances too. I usually do all my alliances through triggers as well. It's just easier that way. So let's set the alliance between player 1 and player, 14, to be an ally with shared vision. And that'll be both ways, by the way. And then let's make player 14 and 15 as enemy. I don't think you have to do that because player 15, as you saw here, was a hostile player, which means it's just hostile to everybody. But you can override that here, and in this case I'm just making sure that they're enemies. So the zombies will try to go for this. And so we got that alliance set, and then we fade it out, and then let's do a UI text message. Let's display, get ready to escort. And you can actually apply styles. I should mention that in 1.3 now, you can select your text here. You got this little window, and triple click to select it all. And then you can like try different styles, like challenge, victory, title, Zerg, hit apply style. Now you can see it, and that's kind of cool, so I'm going to use that text. And for all players to the subtitle will be fine. And then let's general, let's wait 3 seconds just so people are lagging, you know, at the start of the game or whatever. And then let's fade in. Oops, let's fade in over 3 seconds. Don't wait. If you wait, then this will actually be like this. So it'll be like 6 seconds total wait time till the next action can be run right here. So if I had another action here, it's going to wait 3 seconds, then it's going to do this, and wait 3 seconds, and then it'll do this. Whereas now that I made it don't wait, it's going to wait 3 seconds, then it's going to start the fade in, and then it's going to go straight to this action, which is what I want. I don't want to be waiting there. I've already got to wait right here. Okay, so then we fade in, and you could play a sound or do something like that. But what I'm going to do is do a kind of cool, actually I'll do it relatively simple, I think, for this. So the first, it's not really the best way of doing it, but the first thing you want to do is just order the tank. So we go to make a new action, unit, issue, order value, This is where we need a variable. So let's make a new variable. My bad on that one, sorry guys. Let's call this Escort unit. So on the left side I went right clicked and went new variable. And this will be of type unit. And that's all we need. And now right after we make this siege tank here, let's make a new action variable, set escort unit equal function last created unit. So what this will do is after the siege tank's made right here, it's going to set this variable that was initially no unit to become equal to this last created unit. And now down here we can order, like you wouldn't be able to find that siege tank. Where is it? Well, you can go to the variable now and we can easily pick it out, so we know what it is the whole game. And we're going to order it to click on the left bracket of ability command, and we're going to order it to order targeting a point. Click on ability command, search for move, pick the move with both moves in the words there, and move targeting point 2. And that's basically it for that. But now what happens when you reach this point 2? Well, now we have to make a new trigger, Escort 02, and event for this new trigger is unit enters leaves point. Any unit enters within, let's say, 1 of point 2. Let's copy this action from this trigger. We're going to order escort unit. Oh, and we should actually check a condition here. So add a new condition, comparison. Click on the left bracket and check that unit, or actually variable escort unit equals function triggering unit. That's the best way to do it. So any unit entering within 1 of this point, we make sure that this is true, that escort unit is equal to this entering unit, aka the triggering unit. Triggering unit is what you just use when you have to get the unit that entered this range. Escort unit is our siege tank, which got set earlier here. The order of this matters, by the way. Don't jumble these around. So then we check that, and if it is this tank coming in range here, then we're going to order the escort unit. You could also change this to triggering unit, it wouldn't matter in this case. To move targeting point 03 now. And then we got to copy paste this, so there's a bit of grunt work here. Unit enters 1 of point 3. Check that it's escort unit, and then now we move him to point 4. Copy paste, and keep going for this. I'll speed through it. Okay, and finally, the last thing will be Escort 07. So any unit comes within 1 of 0.7. If the escort unit, then we're just going to do a victory. So game, end game for player, end game and victory for player. Well, in this case it'd be player 1. But if we wanted to do it for all the players, you could go to player group, pick each player in active players, and do game, end game and victory. Instead of 1 here, you do function picked player. So I'm going fast here because I don't want to slow down too much on the simpler stuff. So now, although it's only 1 player, this won't really matter, but that's how you would do it for multiple players in a very quick and easy way, rather than having to do end game and victory for player 1, end game and victory for player 2, end game and victory for player 3, etc. This just does it in one loop that repeats for all the active players. Okay, so now if it gets there, victory. But unfortunately, there's going to be zombies on the way. So what we're going to do here is make a new trigger. Let's call this zombie spawns. Event will be timer periodic event. Let's say every, let's go game time, every 5 seconds of game time. We're going to unit, create, unit facing angle, create 1. And I think a good zombie model to use, unit to use by default is the infested Terran. So create 1 infested Terran for player 15, the hostile player, at point. So now we realize, well, where do we want to spawn it? We could be smart and spawn it near you, but I'm not going to show that here. That can be sort of, if you get more advanced, you can think of how to do that. I'm going to spawn it at a random point and then order it to attack move towards the little caravan thing. So to do that, what I'm going to do is here I'm going to create 1 infested Terran for player 15, and now what we need to do is make a variable here to store all the points. So let's call this zombie spawns. Change the integer to point here. Array of size. How many spawns do we have here? We have 7 spawns, so array of size 7. Now we need to set this array, so we go back into melee initialization, and I'll show you why we're doing this. Before all of the other actions, let's add new action, variable, set variable. Let's set zombie spawns 1 to be Z1, zombie spawns 2 to be Z2, and I'm starting from 1 here instead of 0 for no particular reason, if anyone cares. I'm just starting counting from 1 rather than 0, just because I chose to. Okay, let me just set these. So now, the reason we're setting this is for randomization purposes. It makes it a lot easier. I'll show you why in a sec. Okay, so they've all been set. So this array, where is it? This array of points, basically it means 7-point variables stacked into this one thing in a list of by number, has been set to actual points in the game now. When the game starts, it'll get set. And then our zombie, and by the way, you can rearrange these however you want to organize it. It's just in here, it's important the order that runs. So now our zombie spawns. So we're going to create one infested terrain for player 15 at point. So instead of picking a direct point here, because we don't know, we want to randomize it, we can go to variable and choose zombie spawns. But which number do we want to spawn it at? Well, we want to spawn it at a random number between 1 and 7. So let's go back here and change the 0 here to be function math random integer between 1 and 7, and it's that easy. And instead of 270, so he doesn't face the same way, let's make it function math random angle. So it'll make him facing a random angle. And then let's unit, make a new action unit, issue order. Order, instead of triggering unit, change it to last created unit. So we're going to order last created unit to click on the left bracket of ability command. We're going to order him to order targeting a point. We're going to order to target to attack, targeting function unit, position of escort unit. So now he's going to go towards it. But we have a problem now. What if he spawns right here and is going towards the escort unit, but by the time he moves, attack moves to that point, the escort unit's already out here. And the reason we're not telling him to directly attack the escort unit is because if there's people along the way, we don't want him to try and avoid those people and go straight for the escort unit. We want the zombie to try and attack you on the way and then go for the escort unit. So the way to do that is like I have it here, where we order him to attack move. This is attack move because we're ordering him to attack targeting the point where the escort unit is. But that escort unit is going to move. So we have to run another trigger here. Let's call this zombie orders. And let's say timer periodic event. Let's say every 5.5, just so it's not all going at the exact same time. And let's do this in real time. Let's do unit group, pick each unit in unit group. So this is a new action. Instead of last created units, let's do function unit group, units in region matching condition. Any units in the entire map owned by player 15. Excluded, that's fine. Any amount, that's fine. And then make a new action inside here to do unit issue order. We're going to order the picked unit. So every unit that we found here is going to get this order. Click on the left bracket of ability command. We're going to order targeting a point. So this is pretty similar to before. I should have probably copy-pasted, but I didn't think this through well enough. And we're going to order targeting function unit, position of variable escort unit. Replace existing orders. So every 5.5 seconds, it's going to order every unit owned by player 15 to move to that position. So as this escort unit moves along, these zombies are going to catch up. And we might want to increase this time to like 2.5 seconds. So they're spawning a bit more crazily. And so one thing I want to mention though is if you didn't have an escort unit and you wanted these units to attack to the closest enemy hero. Instead of this line, which I'll copy and just delete it, what you could do is go unit, issue order. So we could order this picked unit to attack targeting point. You still want to always attack targeting a point, aka attack move, because you never want to order the unit to directly attack another unit, because then he'll just avoid all the other units hitting him, which is kind of bad. So you always want to attack move. So we're going to attack move targeting function unit, position of unit group, closest unit to point, and then the point is going to be function unit position of position of unit. My brain just froze there for a sec. I'll explain this in a sec. And then click on the left bracket of here, and instead of units in region matching condition, change it to units in region with alliance to player. Any unit in the entire map having an enemy with player, unit, owner of unit, owner of picked unit. So what does this giant long thing do, which I'll expand out here? This huge thing, so we're going to take every unit owned by player 15, hostile, who owns zombies, and we're going to order every unit that he has to attack move to the closest position of that unit, who is an enemy of that unit, of the owner of that unit. So if you have a hero right here, and a hero right here, and then a zombie right here, it's going to order him to attack to the closest enemy unit, which is going to be this one. So he's going to attack move here, and zombies over here will attack move here. And this will be periodically going, and they'll just keep going. So I just want to mention that this is a great way to do the AI for if you just want the zombies to directly attack all the players, I mean. So in this case, though, it's a lot simpler. I just need them to go right to the escort unit, and it's up to you to defend that escort unit. And I believe I did make you allies with them, yeah. So this tank's going to spawn, and you should probably slow down. Like, I'm going to slow down the tank to like 1.1 speed, so it's actually an engaging game and not just like over in 5 seconds. And you could probably trigger events like hit R to go to regions, drop a region here, and run a trigger whenever the tank enters here, spawn a boss and like make him come attack the tank or something. That's just another suggestion of mine. Anyways, I'm not going to do that here. It's a little bit complicated, or a little bit time consuming. Not really the point. So the escort will go ahead. It's up to you to keep up. And now zombies are going to be spawning, and they're going to be going towards that escort unit. Now, one other thing we should do here is we're going to trigger here. Let's make a warning trigger. So let's just call this warning escort. And the event will be a unit takes damage. Any unit takes any damage, whatever. Add a condition. Actually, go to the escort, copy this condition from any of the escort triggers, and paste it in here. So escort unit is the triggering unit, and by the way, if you read here, the triggering unit is the one that took damage. So we're going to check if the escort unit took damage, and then we're going to UI, text message, display a message, escort under fire to all active players to the error area, just so it's kind of off screen a bit. And you could play a sound too. Play sound. Something not too invasive. Ping maybe. Yeah, that's okay. Probably not the best sound, but that's okay. And yeah. What we should do though, because this will get really annoying, is we should turn off this trigger and then turn it back on. So let's turn the current trigger off, and let's wait for real-time seconds, and then let's turn it back on. So when it's attacked, it's going to display the warning and then turn this off for 4 seconds, and then it'll turn it back on, and if it's still being attacked, it's going to run again. If not, then you won't get bothered. So why don't we go test this out and see if how much I screwed up, or if usually when I say that it means I didn't screw up anything. Okay, we got the little message here, and it should fade in soon. Yeah, there we go. And
Nova here.
there goes that little tank.
Strictly
Oh,
business.
there's the zombie.
Advancing on target.
All right, we got him.
Acknowledged.
Defense is going well. Oops,
En route.
there's another one. Can those things attack?
Got it.
They better be able to. Let me just see.
Loud and
oh, I guess
clear.
I'm cloaked.
On the move.
I don't know
Preparing
why
to
they're not going
terminate.
for that siege tank. Sorry guys, so I realized that the issue was in the where's the zombie spawns. We need to switch it to be this infested Terran. The other one just doesn't have a weapon for some reason. So that was the only issue there. And I'd probably want to remove cloak from Nova. But now if we go test, it'll be a lot better. Okay, as we can see, we got the get ready to escort message. It fades in now.
Nova here.
And let's hope for the
Strictly business.
the final step here is
Acknowledged.
they should be attacking. I'm going to hide in the corner here
En route.
and not auto attack
Got it.
by running around.
Loud and clear.
Alright, I got a little message.
On the
Now,
move.
well, now I'm kind of screwed.
I'll make it happen.
There we go, a little
Executing.
distraction. I don't know what that is, but
Consider it done.
basically, yeah, that's pretty much
Strictly
it.
business.
And now, one thing I've
Acknowledged.
realized is that, well, we have a win condition, but we need a lose condition. So one last thing to fix here is in triggers. We need to make a new trigger. Lose condition. And the event for this will be when a unit dies. Any unit dies. Condition. Let's bring that condition that we always copy. So if the escort unit is the dying unit, which is the triggering unit, you can see right here, use triggering unit to get the unit that died. So if the escort unit is the dying unit, then we'll, well, let's copy from our winning trigger, which is Escort 07. Let's copy this in here, and let's endgame in defeat for all the active players. So if that thing dies, we lose. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I was kind of short, but we still got a lot covered, and there's still a lot more you could cover. This is a relatively simple map, and please take all your maps farther and just try and make them as cool as possible. And I hope to have a few more tutorials. Thanks for watching.